Why did they make it look so glamorous? For me, it felt enjoyable and difficult at the same time. So basically, just mixed feelings. If you're here for the first time, you're welcome, okay? Let's get into this video. Solo traveling. Everyone keeps making a fuss about solo traveling. Oh, you should solo travel at some point in your life. You should do this, you should do that. But there are some things that you should know before you solo travel. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down what I enjoyed and what I did not enjoy in my solo travel and how to prepare when you're solo traveling for the first time. You can describe solo traveling in several contexts, okay? At some point in your life, you must have solo traveled without even realizing that you have solo traveled. Maybe you go on a business trip and you travel alone. Someone can also say that is solo traveling. Some people would also say that if you relocate to a new country, that is, you travel there by yourself, that is also solo traveling. The context that I am referring to in this video is for relaxation, taking a break from your busy life to go somewhere totally new, to experience new culture, meet new people, and basically just rest and find yourself again. It could be for a short period of time or for a long period of time, just basically you taking that time off from your busy life to say, hey, I want to rest, I want to find myself again. That's the essence of why you even went alone in the first place. If you wanted a travel partner or you wanted a friend or a buddy to go with you, then it's no longer considered a solo travel. And then after you have found yourself, you can then go back to your busy life. Now let's talk about my solo travel experience, what I enjoyed and what I did not enjoy. And I'm basically just going to run through all of that. I'm going to start with what I enjoyed and the things that I believe that I have gained from traveling alone. I found out that being solo helped me to always be on my feet. I was always making decisions very fast. I realized that I didn't have that time to, stall on what I wanted to do. It was just pretty fast, and I really liked that adrenaline feeling, right? It's more difficult when you have more than one person in a travel group. You both or your group has to decide on what you want to do, and then you end up wasting time to make decisions, right? What you want to do might not be the same thing with what I want to do. If you're by yourself in a totally different place you haven't been before, I think your brain would help you make decisions really fast. No one is going to teach you that. Let's talk about confidence. Remember, I talked about being able to make good decisions while I was solo traveling, right? And I realized that that kind of improved my confidence level. I was able to trust the decisions that I had made without being shy or scared of like saying, oh, what if, what if, what if. I trusted myself 100%, which is something that I believe that if you're solo traveling, you should be able to be confident in your decision making. Now let's go to the things that I did not enjoy. Solo traveling can be so lonely. I enjoy my company to some extent, but for me, traveling, I always like to have a travel buddy. For example, when I travel with my friends, it's always more enjoyable for me because we get to laugh and chat about our experience together. For example, I was basically just by myself, doing my own thing by myself, swallowing all of the emotions I was feeling. I had to start calling my friends to, talk about something that happened that I didn't like, or talk about something that, I just saw, we'll chat and laugh about it over the phone. But at the same time, I missed that physical presence. So yeah, it can be lonely. Some of us. Yeah. Am I gonna travel solo next time? Yeah, I will do solo travel again, but not anytime soon. Another thing that I did not enjoy while solo traveling was getting no help. I always try to vlog as much as possible whenever I travel, to capture all of the experience. See, it's easier when you have a travel buddy or travel partner to help you like take the videos. Like you want to take a video of yourself in the video, it's easier when someone helps you to do it because they can get you in the perfect frame. I always try to use my back camera to get the best quality that I can get, right? So, and if you want to take a video of, you want to make a video of yourself, maybe walking down the road or walking, and you want to take yourself in the right or in the perfect frame, sometimes that can be very hard to get, right? So I would set my phone on the tripod stand and then start recording myself, maybe walking somewhere, and I come back to check the video and I realized that I wasn't in the perfect frame. So I had to do it multiple times. I had to do multiple takes to get like myself in the perfect frame that I wanted. So that was like very frustrating for me because I had to do it so many times to get it right. Unlike when you have someone helping you and it's easier that way, the person is able to see what they are doing and they're able to get you in the right frame. Let me share an experience with you. I was sitting by myself right in Commerce Square in Lisbon, and I had taken my videos and pictures and I was just relaxing just at the center in the square. This lady then walks up to me and then asks if I could help her take pictures and video of herself using her back camera for better quality. And then I helped her take her videos and pictures. But I remember we talking about our experience, and we started to laugh about it because she was experiencing the same thing that I was also experiencing. She wanted to take enough videos and pictures as much as she wanted to, but then she was doing it all by herself, which was the same thing that I was doing. At some point when I was by myself, I was also scouting for people to ask to help take pictures and videos of me, but I was scared, like, what if I give this person my phone and this person runs away with my phone? I had to look at people's faces and kind of like judge if this person is a nice person or someone I could trust my phone with, which was what she did as well. She scouted and she found me because she saw that I was sitting by myself and I looked really calm. She thought she could trust me to ask help take her pictures and videos. And we chatted about the experience. We laughed about it. We talked about the struggles of being a solo traveler. And she's from South Africa and I'm from Nigeria. So we both, talked about our cultures. We spent some time together and then before we went our separate ways. But it was good to also know that I wasn't experiencing the same thing alone. My final experience, guys, this was the one that spoiled everything. I got a fine of 60 euros. When I got that fine, I felt like my whole life had just fallen apart, because imagine you being in a new place and you're just arriving in a city and the first thing that you get is a fine. How does that make you feel? That is going to just spoil your entire trip. So that was exactly what happened to me. So I got this fine in Lisbon, Portugal. I had spent some days in Lagos before heading to Lisbon. The very minute I arrived in Lisbon, I took the bus to get me to my hotel. The bus station was just very close to where I had arrived with my luggage. So I just decided to take the bus. It would be easier for me to just jump on the bus and just get to my hotel. I didn't find out how the transportation system worked in Lisbon, and I didn't know some things that I should have known as a first timer, which is very important. This is me so tired, so exhausted. I just, with my luggage, I just hopped on the bus. I was about to speak to the driver about paying for the bus ride, and the driver just waved me with his hand. So he just did like this. And how the bus system works in Scotland where I live is, when you get into the bus, you already have like your bus pass on your phone. All you just need to do is to scan your barcode and you get into the bus. But sometimes even before you scan your barcode, the driver would just like wave you off, like say don't worry. So I took that same mentality to Lisbon, which is something that I shouldn't have done, because when immediately I got into the bus, the driver he saw me with my luggage. I was very tired and exhausted, and I didn't even have strength to talk. And they speak Portuguese in Lisbon and I speak English. There was no time for me to start using my Google Translate to talk to the driver or anything, but I spoke English to the driver and I realized that he wasn't understanding what I was saying. So he just basically waved me in, and when he did like this, I had assumed that meant not to worry. So I just sat at the very first seat, just very close to the driver, and there was like a space for me to put my luggages by the side. How the transport system works in Lisbon, there's this card that you need to have to always recharge every time you want to get into a bus or a metro or a train. And I didn't know that you needed to have this card before entering a train or a bus or whatever method of transport you want to use, which in my case, I was using the bus. So just a minute or two after I had entered this bus, you had some ticketing officers get into the bus, and immediately they got in. I was the first person, obviously, and they asked me for my ticket. And I was just dumbfounded. I felt so stupid. I looked so stupid because I didn't even know what to say. I didn't even know how to start explaining to them that, I was about to get my ticket, and the driver kind of like waved me in, thinking that it meant that I could get into the bus without paying. I was not trying to skip not paying for my ride, okay? This was just me using the system that I was used to back where I live and taking that same system to a totally different country that had a totally different culture or totally different way of operating. I shouldn't have done that, right? I'm in a new place. I should have made my inquiries. After this had happened, I realized that the transport system in Europe is very complicated and very, very strict. The UK transport system is kind of flexible to some extent, but the little time that I spent in Lisbon, I realized that the transport system there was very strict and is less flexible. If you enter a train or a metro or a bus without having your bus pass, your bus ticket, you're gonna get fined like I did, 60 euros. So when I was trying to explain myself to the ticketing officers, we had to use Google Translate to translate what we were saying to each other. And from what they were saying that it was totally my fault, that I should have asked the driver how much to pay and all of that. And I was trying to explain myself, but I just felt it was useless because there was no amount of explanation that I was going to do that was going to exempt me from paying the fine. I had to pay. I paid that fine and I was so angry. I was so frustrated. I was so unhappy. It just spoiled my mood. So if I had a travel buddy with me, the chances of making that mistake is very, very slim. Okay, at least one person would have been able to stop the mistake from happening. But the fact that I was alone and it was just me, you know, there was nothing, nobody could have stopped me from making that mistake as at that point in time, right? So I just took it as it came. I paid the fine and I tried to not feel bad about it. But I realized how bad it had affected my trip. I just said, you know what, this has happened, forget about it. We learn from our mistakes, and I believe that once you've made a mistake the first time, you try to avoid it, the second time, and you become a better version of yourself. So if you're going to be traveling solo, especially for the first time, my advice for you would be to do your research. Try to find out as much information as possible before going to a new country, and try to find out about the food, the culture, the people, the transport system, the security, everything that you need to find out about a place. Just try to get that information handy, and then you can assess if this is something that you can risk doing. And if you eventually realize that you want to take that risk and just go, at least you already have your knowledge in hand before going there, and you try to make the experience worthwhile for you. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things from this video. This is not me saying that solo traveling is bad. This is just me sharing my good experience and bad ones as well, so that people who want to do solo traveling for the first time can take one or two things and make their own experience a better one than I did. That being said, if you ask me if I'm going to solo travel again, I will solo travel again, but not anytime soon. We've come to the end of this video. I hope this video has been very useful to you. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Let me know what you think about this video. I want you guys to share your thoughts and ideas with me as well down in the comment section. Remember to stay fabulous. I'll see you guys next time.